we go. In three, two, one. What's going on, folks? Welcome to 34 Questions. I'm your host, 34. And tonight we have Eljae in the building. How you doing tonight,
Good, man. Chilling. Just beat traffic home off work, so we good.
Eljae? Is it usually bad getting home, or?
From Livermore to Tracy, it technically should only be
Oh,
like a 15-minute, 20-minute drive. But
yeah.
if you hit traffic, bro, it could be upwards towards an hour.
Oh, yeah. That's wild, man. So I'm glad you beat the traffic today. It's not always fun. What's it called? When I was growing up, I lived in Richmond in the East Bay, but went to school in San Francisco, right? So
Oh,
like, yeah, every morning crossing the bridge back and forth, right? And so I know how traffic can be. And I remember growing up, I always tried to avoid traffic because of that experience. I know there's nothing wrong with the East Bay, but for me, if I'm working in the city, I'm not gonna live over there just because. Like, I'd rather live down the peninsula just so I can make that drive. But just getting stuck on the bridge is no bueno. But yeah, for the folks out there who are unfamiliar with the flow of the show, we typically do some warm-up questions in the beginning. After that, we'll turn to the icebreaker. After the icebreaker, we'll get to the Wheel of Fate, which is the main portion of the podcast. And then after that, we'll finish it out with some closeout questions. Sound good to you, Eljae?
sounds good to me, brother.
All right, man. Well, before the warm-up, I like to slow things down, just ask you, how are you? You've been doing well? You've been doing great? How you been lately, man?
I've been doing good. I honestly am in the process of it's kind of like growing in the barber industry. I just recently became a barber. I've always cut hair on the side. It just turns out that I made this my career now, and I'm truly happy with it. But there's a lot of growing pains. Starts off really slow. So, and in the area I'm in, could be better, but that's just that's just how it is, kind of.
Yeah,
If you're not like super established already, then it'll take a while, which I have no problem because gotta trust the process.
exactly. I know exactly what you mean. Even with this podcast, I gotta just trust the process. Even I don't like to look at numbers, but we're forced to look at the numbers, right? And yeah, it's a long game, so we can't expect success to happen really really quickly. But yeah, for the folks out there who don't know as well, me and LJ, we met maybe almost 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So were you doing that back then, back in the day, or I mean, I know you said you started recently, but how recent is recent?
So I've been cutting like on and off since high school, and when I started high school.
You don't have to say. You don't have to expose yourself out here.
um, so in high school,
Hmm.
is when I first picked up a clipper because I got a bad haircut. Um, Bad experiences, become treasured maybe later in the future. But it was always on and off. Like I always did, job like random jobs, just working, right?
Yeah.
Because schools are my thing. So I just did whatever like to get by, make my parents happy because like I tried everything. I've done like nursing. I tried to do kinesiology through college.
Mm-hmm.
I almost became a air traffic controller.
Mm.
Um, but barbering was always my calling. I feel like it was always my calling. I believe it was my calling because like if I was always doing it on the side, right? And then after every job, whatever, it always came back to cutting in the garage,
Mm-hmm.
chilling with the homies there. And then if you think about it, right, it kind of made me who I am today because like the people skills that I got from that really translate into the barber game now. And the thing about the barber game now, bro, is like all social media, right? Like a lot of celebrity barbers do the crazy haircuts, hair coloring, whatever. But I think my route is more like I'm trying to be more straightforward. Like this is who I am. This is what I do. This is how I cut. And I'll show you the result. If you want to come with me, that's fine. If not, oh well, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I used to go to this one barber that I came across in high school, and I would always like go back to him after long times of like, oh, I ain't seen him in a year or whatever, because I got cuts from my dad, so it's cheaper. And like, it's cool that relationship's still there. Like, I remember I seen this dude out in the wild, like at the mall or whatever, and he came up to me, even though I wasn't thinking like, yo, back then I was just a high school student that was going to a shop. But even like after all these years, or like random incursions, he'll remember and be like, yo, that's what dude that's at my shop. So the relationships you build through that career, I think is unique. I don't think that happens a lot. And I want to ask you, why barbering? Like, what drew you to that?
Well, I mean, like, other than my first bad haircut.
Yeah. Or continue with it. Yeah.
It really, like, so the way I learned how to barber is very straightforward, right? Like, you use a guard, you fade down, blah blah blah. Once I started getting into it more, I learned that not everybody cuts the same, right? Hence why, like, someone's blend, they do the same thing, it still can look vastly different than someone else who does the exact same thing the exact same way. So
Interesting.
so in my opinion, for me, it really lets my creativity flow, because every haircut is not the same, right? Like, someone can have dense hair, someone can have light hair, someone can have like bumps or like indents in their head,
Yeah.
long hair, short hair. But like, it lets me be creative with it, especially when people don't know what they want. They give you full freedom. They're like, you just get like a little basic of what they want. Like, they say they want a fade and like a trim on top. Like, oh, like, do you want texture? Do you want, like, just go with the flow? Like, do you want me to style it? Do you want like a burst fade? Like, all this different stuff, bro. So it's like, you really can do whatever you want.
You feel the creativity from
Yeah, and like a little hack that my cousin taught me, that also is a barber. He's also a big dude that like got me into it. But the way he taught me, if someone doesn't know what they want, right, if they show you a picture of what they think they want, tell them that you can work with it, but like, kind of talk to them or talk to them into something a little bit different, so it gets them out of their comfort zone, and that helps you build the relationship with that client because you tailored it to them.
Interesting. Damn.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. There's a lot of detail that comes into it. Obviously there's a lot of customer service, but there's way more than I thought that I knew. Then when I went to school, I wasn't taught none of this. When I got into the shop and my cousin started giving me more game, and I just got to roll with it,
Yeah. And you gotta have a crazy imagination then, right? Like, when a person asks you, or like, what, I want this, but then in your mind you're like, well, I can see all these various different hairstyles on you, and so like, in your mind, is it like that, like in a video game where you choose hairstyle and you kind of can just imagine it on people's heads?
low key, it kind of is like that, because then, like, obviously at the same time, you gotta take into account like their face shape, if they have a beard, like the roundness, like how their hair falls a certain way, all this stuff, bro. It's crazy. And like, what kind of pomade they use, if they use hairspray, have they tried texture powder, do they even blow dry their hair? Like, all this stuff, bro, like, makes a crazy difference.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna ask you for some hair tips. I don't know if you got any for me at the end, but I'll save it for then. And there was one other thing. Oh, yeah. So you gotta talk to me about like the change in your industry after COVID. Like, I don't know if that's why I want to ask how recent you were doing it, because I saw that change. Like, cuts were 35, maybe 40 before quarantine, and then afterwards now they're like 70 minimum if you want a nice one. Yeah, is that like the new standard and I just gotta get used to it? Or is there like, what can I do? I can't, it's not that I don't want to pay for the service, it's just, it's almost 100, twice as much money. But go ahead, you tell me.
So I was in school when COVID hit, and then we had to take a break because of COVID, and then I was charging 30 at the house, but all the shops were closed.
Yeah,
And then so that's part of the reason why like I kept going with it. That really like opened the light for me.
for sure.
Um Sad to say it was because of COVID, but like it was because of COVID.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
so I was charging 30 at the house, right? So now people are coming because shops are closed. And then I was talking to my cousin. He's like, bro, if you're getting busy, now it becomes a supply and a demand, right? Like people want your service type of thing.
Damn. Yeah,
And
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, you should probably raise your prices, even if you're cutting at the house. Like people are gonna need their haircuts, so people still like go out, you know.
Yeah, they
So
do. It's a necessity for a lot of
yeah,
folks.
so that's exactly what happened, bro. Like people were coming to the house, probably like a month, 2 to 3 months. During that time, I was fiddling with raising my prices to 40, right?
Hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
then my cousin, he's like, bro, no, just do 50. He's like, just do 50. And I was like, but it's a garage cut, like it's not
A
like in a
shop.
shop
Yeah,
setting.
yeah.
And he's like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like they're all closed. Just do it. So I did it. And then the rest is history, bro. Like
God damn, man.
yeah,
50
bro.
a cut. Oh.
And then like since it was at the house, it's all pocket money.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
then when I was at school, we had a program called the Elite program. In my opinion, there's not really anything different for it because what they used to offer for it got excluded from the state board after COVID. So we didn't need to like do certain things anymore.
Damn.
Like the practical test, we didn't need to do that anymore. So that kind of just got rid of what we did in the elite section of school, which was 4 barbers per class.
Yeah, yeah.
It was, in my eyes, it was just a way for the school to make money.
No, for sure.
But for us, bro, like what we did, so we got cool with like the people that worked in the front.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we just have them charge them for a regular cut, and then they'd be our client through like Booksy or something. Then you just send them our way.
Got you.
Yeah. So I would pay, let's say like I had a client come in and he booked me through Booksy. I'll go to the front, pay $5 for the ticket, and then the extra like 45, that's just me.
I got you. So, I mean, circumstances happen. You're able to capitalize with your skills in a time of need. And yeah, the rest is history. I got you. Before we move on, I got to ask, like, you got the setup. You do your own kind of streaming or recording?
So, I mean, I'm sure you see it because like the mic, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The podcast mic, pod mic. I used to stream. I used to stream on Twitch.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I used to just play games for fun. I did make some money off it. It was cool. Cool for a while. But then life happens.
Yeah.
It wasn't I don't know, what do you call it? Like stable, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, all these kids want to be influencers and be on Twitch, but that's hard work, and you gotta keep hitting at it like almost all the time for the numbers to run up.
Yeah.
But nah, I got you. Well, it prepared you for this podcast, so for sure.
Yeah.
All right, dog. So my first question for you in the warm up is, what would you like the audience to know about you?
Other than that, I'm a barber.
Yeah. Other than that, other than your occupation, you're more than your occupation.
You're right. If someone were to just meet me off the fly, they probably think I'm intimidating. A lot of people think I'm intimidating, but I'm not.
There you go. Yeah.
It takes a while. It takes a little while to open up for me. Like it took me a long time to be open to, like, I guess you could say like I'm an introverted outrovert. Because once I find like that niche with somebody, it's over. Like I'm no longer that introvert.
Yeah. Like finding common ground with somebody. I think that's what usually gets. Like I was at a party the other day, didn't know anybody except like a couple people, and one of the people I met, I was like, I think I overheard them talk about comic books or something, like the Flash movie or something, and I was like, oh shit, I just saw it. I'm into comic books. Let me get in there and kind of like talk it out with them. So yeah, I know what you mean by like trying to find something to connect with, and then kind of like opening up in that way and seeing how the vibes are after that.
Yeah.
I got you. So that's being an introverted extrovert. That's what you want people to know about you.
Yeah, because then like for the most part, other than like I'm a barber, I don't really do much. Hang out with my girlfriend, play video games.
I got you. I mean, or former Twitch star. So yeah, I got you. My second question for you in the warm up is, well, how would you like to be honored? If there was a way I could express the energy you possess, what sort of act could I do? Let me know if you need clarification too.
It's kind of a hard one. I mean,
we don't normally think about this. That's why I think.
yeah, usually don't. But like if I was to,
I like to say if you moved away and your homies out here wanted to do something for Eljae on your birthday or something, what just to like, oh man, he's a homie. This is something he enjoyed to do. We want to do it too.
Shoot, dude, that's a hard one because like for me, like an example, right, is if it was my birthday, which was like last week, right?
Oh, happy belated.
Thank you. Thank you. But I don't do much, so I guess this is where the introvert part comes out. Is like I don't do much. Usually on my birthday, I just go out with my family and eat dinner. I think what I would want to be honored with is just like knowing I did my best. I did what I could to support and do everything. Just because like I think there's all for everybody. There's a lot of things that go like sight unseen. So yeah, I'll go with that.
I got you. You said sight unseen?
Yeah.
I feel you. Well, now we know how we can honor you, man. I know it's a tough question. I don't think I necessarily have an answer for it just yet myself, and I ask people this question all the time. But yeah, now I'm gonna reflect on it. But for sure. And my last question for you in the warm up is, on a scale from 1 to 10, how well do you know yourself?
Good, going 2. 1 to 10. I want to say like a 6. I only say 6 because I feel like I'm barely coming out of my shell. Because being a barber, also like full-time barber, like in the shop, it's kind of forced me to be more talkative, like be more friendly, find more connections, like put myself out there on social media, promote myself. As far as that's a business, it's also me trying to portray myself to people I don't even know. So I want like full transparency. So yeah, I think that a 6 is a valid number because there's still a lot of room to grow.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah. Do you ever feel like that? Have you gotten to the point of barbering where you feel like sometimes you're a therapist when you talk to folks?
Bro, that's yeah. It's part of the job, dude, and it's crazy, right? Because like you'll meet somebody who, like, let's say, have a client. I don't think they'll ever watch this, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So, but no names, obviously.
No names.
He is he's a traveling nurse. And he tells me all the time, bro, like every time I get him cut, when he comes back, like every month, 2 months, bro, he's always hella sad. He's always hella sad. He loves his job, but at the same time, he's lonely. He's lonely, man. And like he's helping people, doing all these things, but when he comes back home, it's just him. right? Like you can have your family at home and whatnot, but at the same time, you can still feel lonely as hell, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I
I
got you.
try to do whatever I can for this guy, right? Like
Yeah.
give him like the good stuff, like help him with his looks, try to talk him into, finding somebody, but don't look for it,
Yeah, you
But
might like want it too much sometimes, and
yeah,
that can be a bad thing. That's a trip, man. I mean, I stay with my folks, and I don't live with my girl, but I know if we had the opportunity, me and my girl would live together. It's just that I can't imagine what it's like to feel that alone. Like you're always away, and then when you come back, you have nothing. I'm not saying you don't have anything to come back to, but it feels that way.
yeah,
Like you're just a permanent nomad. And I'm 33, man. I don't know. I forgot how old you were, and I don't know how old this person you're talking about too. I hope they don't feel like they don't have time though. I always feel like there's time to have that or find that and cultivate it. But yeah, damn, that must be heavy on you too. I'm sure you just gave me one example, and there's probably way more than just one person feeling some type of way, and they have to talk
yeah,
it out with you. And yeah, sometimes like even with this podcast, man, there are moments where it becomes like a therapy session, right? And I don't know if you ever feel this way from Barbara and having similar conversations, but I always feel some type of way when I feel like that person might need more than what I can give. And I'm just like, I don't know how to sit with that sometimes. I'm just like, well, do I give more? And then, but like, maybe they're looking for a friendship that I can't really like, I don't want to say be a part of, but there's only so much of myself I can give until it's almost everybody, or like for you maybe almost every client. But yeah, does that ever weigh on you, or you've been able to kind of carry the load without feeling it?
I think the good thing about like having multiple clients, right, is you get the like clients like those. I wouldn't say they're downers, but they can feel like that.
Mm,
But then you get clients who just come in, right? They're just like all happy and like they're like out there type of
yeah,
people. They're
yeah,
loud, it's like it's a good different pace.
for
So you get
sure.
that a lot. And then plus like, the guys at the shop that a lot of their clients can be pretty loud, but
Hmm.
they're super friendly, right? Like sometimes we have some drinks here and there, like in between cuts,
That's
loosen up
dope.
a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
dude. Um, and then we also have like professional clients, like super professional type of people who come in. And then we get like a little bit more serious, like just go with the flow, like just whatever comes around comes around. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure, for sure. It balances out with everything, and yeah, I would consider the same thing. It's not like that all the time, but I know it's just those moments.
yeah.
uh, all right, dog. So we made it through the warm up. The next section we'll be heading to is the icebreaker.
Okay.
So you get to choose. You want to do a word association or a this or that?
Uh, is the this or that? It's like questions, right?
I'm gonna say like, would you rather want an apple or an orange? Kind of thing. But deeper than that. I'm just giving you an example.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shoot. I don't know. That's because both. I mean, both work.
You want me to just choose for you? All right.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool with me.
All right. All right. I'm gonna go with the this or that.
Okay.
It's a little newer, and you'll have 34 seconds to do as many as you can. After the 34 seconds, I'm gonna just probably follow up on a couple answers.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I don't have to explain yet on why I
Not
picked
yeah, not yet.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll ask afterwards. All
Okay. For sure.
right, here we go. We got 34 seconds on the clock. I'm gonna press start, and we'll get rolling.
All right.
Vacation or staycation?
Vacation.
Underestimated or overestimated?
Underestimated.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction.
Regret or doubt?
Doubt.
Sort by price or sort by rating?
Price.
Massive success by accident or modest success on purpose?
modest success on purpose.
Books or movies?
Movies.
Win a race or win a debate?
Ooh, debate.
Oh, okay. Let's start off with that one, man. Why win a debate over a race?
So I would rather win the debate. This kind of stems from this. There's this question so there's a clock. Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
If there's a clock, there's two clocks, my bad. So one is always a minute behind.
Mhm.
One is broken. Which clock is right?
Oh, like just looking at it, I'm supposed to tell like which one's behind and which one's broken? Or
No. So like one's broken, so it's stuck at a certain time.
okay.
And then one is always a minute behind. Which one is right?
Damn. There's an actual answer to this. I'm not like trying to find a middle ground. Okay. Which one is right? But one is behind, one is broken. Which one is right? I'm gonna go with the broken one.
That's correct.
Because it's right twice. It's twice a day. Yeah. Okay.
So in third grade, we had a debate on this very question.
Okay.
So it's kind of self-centered, but it's okay.
Don't worry, man. Don't worry.
So there was this girl in my class. She picked minute behind, and I picked the broken clock. And then we had a debate with the class. And then she tried to explain, obviously, a minute behind is right because you always know it's a minute behind and you'll know what time it is. But the clock, if it's broken, it lands on it twice. So it's right twice. That's basically what we came up with. And then our teacher at the time, he was a dope dude. When he announced who was right, the whole class just started. They told me he announced that I was right, bro. The whole class was just like Eljae. I'm not gonna forget that, bro. So I'd rather win a debate.
That feeling must have been wild. It'd been crazy if they carried you on their shoulders, you know?
Bro, just them chanting this already would have felt like.
I feel it. I mean, no judgment, but never mind. I'm not gonna say it. But that's dope, man. That's such a dope feeling. I don't think I've ever had a moment like that where everyone's chanting my name.
I was young, bro. I was like, I think it was like fourth grade.
Still though, man, like the class just knew to hype you up. Like that was wild.
It was a good time.
For sure. Definitely a highlight, man. If they make a movie of your life, that has to be one of the scenes.
Hey, yo, facts.
But I got you. All right, and then the other one you said, I asked regret or doubt. I believe you said doubt.
I did say doubt.
Why doubt first, or why choose doubt?
So I picked doubt because like if I ever feel like I'm in doubt, I try to find the reason behind it. And then it can be or may not be fixable, but it's better than not doing anything at all, which can cause you regret, right? So in my opinion, doubt always makes you question what you're doing or what is happening. Other than regret, which is it's past tense. So it already happened and you can't do nothing about it. That's why I picked doubt.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah, man, it's a different way of looking at it. Typically I be thinking like, am I able to live with regret or able to live with doubt more? I think that's where my mind goes to, right? And yeah, I mean, I think the better answer, even though I don't embody it all the time, is it's better to live with doubts, because like you said, it's more about you can still do something about it versus living in regret, which I think a lot of us do, and I can fall into that trap every once in a while. But yeah, got you, man. And
yes, sir.
Thank you for your perspective. But we made it to the main portion of the podcast where we spin the wheel. And I gotta try to get this wheel up. I don't know why it's not showing up. Okay, I guess I gotta do it that way. Anyways, Wheel of Fate. I'm gonna give it a wheel spin, whichever number it lands on. That's how the conversation will flow. And then if there's any question that's too deep, too personal, something you don't want to talk about, feel free to pass and we'll just move on. All right.
Okay.
Here we go. First spin is number 19. Number 19 is, what is your controversial opinion that you just feel like most people wouldn't agree with you on this? It's a safe space. I'm not judging, but like I said, you don't want to talk about it, it's fine.
Controversial? I don't know. That's, if you want me to give like a unpopular opinion, I can do that. But I don't really controversial like stuff. I typically stray away from, right? I think that's just because I try to most of the time avoid conflict.
I got you. Yeah.
But if you want an unpopular opinion, I could give you one.
Yeah, shoot it to me. What's your unpopular opinion?
I might get a lot of hate, which is fine. People understand. I think Up, the movie, is a great movie for only the first portion of the movie. The rest is just okay at best.
Oh, you talking about the first 15 or 10 minutes being like the best part of... Yeah, I know. That's interesting. I hear you. I don't think a lot of people will argue about that, and we'll see. I don't know who's going to listen to this episode, but yeah, I'm not saying, I can't say I don't agree with you because when I think of that movie, that's the best part is in the beginning. That's the only part I share with people and try to tell them like, you got to watch this. But yeah, I mean, that's I mean, I might get a lot of hate for this one, but I don't know if Disney hits me like that as much as it used to, you know? Like,
I feel it.
I think I'm just old, right? And the classics are going to be the classics to me because I was a kid at that time. But yeah, all the new stuff, I'm like Pixar. I don't know if you watched Elemental recently. I loved it. Okay, yeah, I loved it. But when I watch new Pixar movies, I always think of like, I don't get overhyped about it, you know? I think there's a few that's followed a simple formula or like a regular kind of, what I mean is to say a formula where it's like you got somebody that's underdog, goes through some challenge, you know, overcomes it with the power of friendship, and then and everything's good afterwards, you feel me? So yeah, when I was going into Elemental, I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna be a fish out of water kind of movie, and then like you have two people who are trying to get together, but their parents don't, you know, agree with it, and it's like that story, right? But this one was a pleasant surprise, honestly. So shout out to Elemental for being like hella unique and feeling like fresh to me. But yeah, now Disney for sure is it's interesting, man. I think these kids, I hope when these kids grow up, I could ask them like, was it hidden good for you, or was it just like, because I don't think I'll ever get back to that space, you know, of like, this is all magical and dope and wonderful.
Yeah, I feel it. For me it's different. I'm the opposite. I love Disney, bro.
Oh shit, my bad. Go ahead. Tell me what's good, man.
It's good because like my favorite show, I don't know, when's the last time you've been to Disneyland?
The last time I've been to Disneyland was probably 2021. I was able to go to the Star Wars ride, which blew my mind. But yeah, go ahead. What were you gonna say about it?
So you know the show Fantasmic?
The show Fantasmic? Yeah.
That, I'll not lie to you, bro. Every time I watch that show, I will probably cry a little bit.
I got you.
It is like that for me there. I have a tattoo on my fingers that says Hakuna Matata.
Hey, I ain't mad at that, dog. That's dope.
So I have a different opinion on Disney, which is fine. I mean, movies, some movies aren't it, but yeah.
No, I hear you, man. Yeah, I know my girl would wish I was more into Disney for sure. But for me, I think it's a magical place still. Like, and when I go to Disneyland, the thing I look forward to the most is the fireworks show. I haven't seen Phantasma. It might make me cry too, but definitely the fireworks put me in a place where like now I just feel like a kid again, and it's dope because it's a long fireworks show too. It's not like 1 minute and it's over. It's like 10 minutes of fireworks. So yeah, that makes it feel very magical for me. And yeah, as far as Disney goes, man, it's like I still like I don't they bought a lot of properties that I still enjoy, so they're gonna always get my money. But yeah, but for sure. I mean, yeah, you should check out Elemental. And I think the last Pixar movie that kind of made me feel some type of way was going to be Soul. I think that was during quarantine when it came out. But between Soul and Elemental, I can't really remember what was in the middle. Like, can you remind me like what came out in between?
What came out in the middle? Luca.
Oh, that I can't hate on Luca. Luca was fun. I watched it. But
I don't know. The turning was it Turning Red? That was after, I think.
Oh, I thought Turning Red was DreamWorks or something, but you're right. It is Pixar. Damn.
Yeah.
That was cool too. Fuck, I'm going back on my.
It's crazy because fucking yesterday, where my homie asked me, he's like, "What's your top 5 Disney movies? What's your top 5 Pixar movies?"
Yeah.
I was like, Pixar is hard, bro. Disney, I could do Disney easy, but Pixar,
I see.
I think there's like 20 something ish movies for Pixar, and it's still hard to pick like a top 5. But Disney's easy. I could do Disney.
All right. You don't gotta give me. I'm not gonna ask for a top 5. I won't make it that hard for you, but give me your top 3 for Disney.
Top 3 for Disney is Goofy movie,
For sure.
Lion King, and damn, I gotta choose between 2 of them. Goofy movie, Lion King. Damn. I'm gonna blank. I'll do 2.
Okay.
I'll do 2.
Okay. I mean, you can't go wrong with those 2. I ain't gonna lie. I will ask you, did you see the Goofy movie documentary thing?
No.
Okay. I gotta share it with you. It's the show Atlanta. You ever heard of it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right. So season 4, it came out with a mockumentary about the Goofy movie and how it happened at a time. I don't want to spoil it actually, but it was done so well that it makes you think like, did this really happen? Like, so yeah. And what's sick about it is that they made the Goofy movie the movie to do that about, and like kind of, and I don't know if you're familiar with Atlanta, but it's very like, face to the mirror about our society. So it was such an interesting watch. But yeah, I'll let you know which one that one is.
Okay.
Especially if you have Goofy movie as 1 and 2 up there.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give the wheel another spin.
Sure.
Let's see. We got number 12. This one is one of those emotional questions, which is, when was the last time you cried and why?
I think that's a little too personal, but
I got you. I mean, we go back away from it, man. No worries. And well, let me flip the script a little bit and change the question. What brings you to tears? Like, and you don't have to go super personal, super deep with it. Like, I know for me, I'm a sucker for like good acting.
I feel it.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel it.
I'm like, yo, that scene really hit me. So I don't know for you, do you remember the last scene that might have made you feel like? For me, I'll take deep breaths. I'll go, I will try not to let the tears flow.
I mean, more something more recently is like my girl's dog, one of her dogs passed away.
Oh shit.
R.I.P. RP Lyra, miss you. But whenever we like, hang out and then hang out with her current dog,
Mm-hmm.
and then we miss her old dog, but then it makes me also think of my dog that I used to have. But yeah, I wouldn't call him my dog. He's more my brother's dog.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, bro. Every time, man, like we see, like if I see them like playing with their dog, or like they talk about him and stuff, yeah, I'm just like, it hits me. I'm just like, it hits me.
Like you got to walk out the room. Like, nah, I can't be in here right now.
Yeah, dude. Like it's hard. I love dogs, bro, but like, fuck, it hurts.
Yeah, man. I understand. Thank you for opening up, man. Like I know it's hard to talk about these things and get your head in that space where you don't really want to be at. But let me give the wheel another spin, see if we get something more positive. Ooh, you had 19 and I look like 19 again, but it's 20 now. Okay. And wouldn't say it's as heavy as the previous one, but this one is, what was a situation when you didn't get the help you needed?
To be honest, there's a lot of times where I feel like this, especially at home, just because there's a turning point in our home life with my family where everyone's kind of now kind of on autopilot. So we're kind of like broken in a sense. Me and my brother, we're cool. Me and him, we play games together. He's probably messaging me. He's messaging me on Discord right now, actually.
For sure.
But yeah, it was hard because I felt like my parents kind of gave up being parents. So I kind of tried to become like head honcho type thing.
Yeah.
And it started to take a big ass toll on me. Like I felt very like heavy, a lot of pressure like on my shoulders type of thing.
Yeah.
But it's a lot better now. Well, not a lot, but it's better. There's a lot of things that are going on that are helping the cogs turn a lot better now.
That's what's up.
So yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're in a better space. But yeah, man, family is complicated sometimes. And yeah, even just you reflecting on your parents. I know for me, I reflect on them a lot. I'm an only child, and I still live with them, right? I'm not gonna. I don't think they've ever stopped being my parents. But for sure, I think, like, I don't know if you watched Ted Lasso or heard of the show before. But it relates to like things that make me cry. Ted Lasso for sure. And there was a scene in that show when he had a hard conversation with his mom, right? And he basically told his mom like, "Fuck you for not growing," And I was like, "Fuck, dude!" Like in my mind, it's like if I could, talk to my parents for real about it, it'd be like, I never needed them to like sacrifice their life for mine, And at a certain point, though, it really felt like they stopped being their own people and like just focused everything on me, and that made me feel guilty. I'm like, I never told y'all shouldn't be in your hobbies or like, explore and do all these things, but they sacrificed a lot for just me, and now it's like, I ain't gonna lie, I'm in this mode where I'm thinking to myself like, how can I get them out there more? How can I get them comfortable, like discovering who they are again? So family's complicated, man. So thank you for opening up.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
I mean, if I could do the same thing, like talk to my parents, like for real, for real.
Yeah.
I would tell them the same thing, bro. Like, you don't have to let go of who you guys are,
Yeah.
Because it's like they really, they just work. They come home, they cook, watch TV.
Yeah.
Like they be falling asleep on the couch. I'm like, bro, like, y'all gotta do something.
Yeah.
But I think the one thing that they do for themselves, my daddy goes, he gambles. He don't miss. Right? Like, he don't miss.
Okay.
For real. He
Yeah, yeah.
don't miss, bro. Every time he comes home, he's like, I won it, blah blah blah. I'm like, what? Like, where you go every weekend, man? He's like,
Your dad
apparently
got
he's
some
him
luck.
there.
Yeah, yeah. You ever go
um,
with him? Everyone's like high fiving him when he walks in, and like he's
let me
chanting.
tell you,
They're chanting his name, like.
I've been with him though.
Oh, okay.
But he played. When I went with him one time, we went to Red Hawk, and he was
Mm-hmm.
playing slots. Buffalo slots, probably. Penny slots. Yeah, bro. I remember he hit like $50 on the first try, and then I went to go get a drink. Right, I come back. This guy's up like 2,000. What just happened, man?
Just from slots? God damn. I wish I
Yeah,
had that
man.
luck, dog. I miss all the time. I don't know when I'm gonna hit.
It's crazy.
Your dad took all the luck, dog.
Like, spread some, man.
I know you should like, well, I'm your son, give me some, like
Like,
yeah.
I think that's one thing they do though, is like when they do come back from gambling, my mom doesn't win. I'll just be for real about that one. She don't win. But whenever they do win, which is like all the time for some reason, it feels like, he shoots like a coup 50 piece real quick. I'm just like, oh, for sure, it was good.
Thanks, pops.
It's like, cool, I got gas money.
Hey, man. I think parents always got that piece of them, right? Like, no, they got a lot, they got a little, they always gonna give to their kid something, hopefully. But yeah. All right, dog. Well, we made it to the final portion of the podcast. We have about 10, 13 minutes left in here.
Okay.
But before we get to the closeout, you are gonna take part of the 34th mantra. I don't know if you ever heard of it before, or I don't know if Desi did it on the podcast last time. But you gotta close your eyes for this one though, and then I gotta explain the instructions, and then after that I'll ask you to open your eyes and you'll let it rip. So at this point, you gotta close your eyes.
All right,
dog. So imagine you are in the forest, you on a hike or whatever, and you feeling heavy. So you're trying to find a way to express yourself. You're in the forest, you're ready to yell out, and the phrase is I am, I can, I will. So I am blank, I can blank, I will blank. What would you yell out there in the forest? And whenever you're ready, feel free to open your eyes and let it rip.
Wait, so it's I am,
I can, I will. So it's but three separate things. So it's I am blank, I can blank, I will blank.
Okay.
You don't have to yell. What would you yell?
Okay. So I am Eljae. I can do this. I will do this.
For sure. I mean,
yeah.
I got you, man. I got you. Is it just for you? So like, if you ever need a reminder, you have this little sound bite, I tell people to make it their alarm clock, but I don't know if that's someone else is going to do that. I should do it for myself actually. But yeah, thank you for participating. And here we are at the closeout questions. My first question for you is going to be from my previous guest, my latest guest. Shout out to Andrew. Andrew's question for you is, what is your life outside of work?
Oh.
I know, right?
In simple terms, it's not simple. There's a lot that goes on outside of work. Because obviously work, for me at least, is a free space. Sometimes when I'm not at work, it feels like a different kind of work. But if there's no work at all and I just have my free space, my free time,
Oh, and I forgot the stipulation. The stipulation is it can't include anyone else, and it can't be outside. So it has to be like something you would do at home, solo. But yeah,
Solo.
yeah, I know how that caught me in the trap when he asked me this question.
Yo, that's hard, dude. Because
Even-
like, what do I do solo? You know?
yeah, yeah.
Solo. I mean,
I
when I
really, yeah.
do.
You could tell
Oh,
me if it's just like it stumps you. If it stumps you, it stumps you.
well, I mean, when I do stuff on my own, it's just me. Like, I like to just catch up on like shows. You know,
Mm-hmm.
lay in bed. Not a nap person, but when I do take a nap like that, and it's like free of stuff, those feel great. um, yeah, dude. Like, honestly, I just like to. If I'm by myself, like nothing going on, I know for some people, like being in their head can be a bad place.
Yeah,
I think for me, it's a good place.
I hear you.
Cause you know, like you be staring, just like blank stare at stuff sometimes.
Dude, I do it way more than I think because everyone asks me like, what are you thinking? What are you looking at?" And I'm like, oh, I was just in my head. My bad. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Like that. I feel like that's a lot of me. You know, like in my head thinking about it. But the problem too is I think about what's gonna happen next. Right. When I'm not doing that, it's kind of just like here, which is fine. But for, like I said, you know, it can be a bad space for some people. But for me, I think I need that. So it helps me like get better in a sense.
yeah, no, for sure. I would say the same thing. For me, it's comforting. I don't know. Like I am more introverted for sure. If it wasn't for this podcast, a lot of people would say like I'm very quiet. I'm in the corner, kind of like just taking everything in. That's who I am. But like, yeah, being in my head is I know like for during quarantine too, right? Like everybody didn't want to be staying at home or not being able to socialize. It wasn't terrible for me. Like for me, it's like cool. I got more time in my room. I could, and when I am in my room, this is the stuff that kind of comes up. I like trying to be creative and build like new things. So that's what kind of got me in the headspace to create like a podcast too. And that was during quarantine time. So like for yourself, making that switch or pressing the gas for barbering during quarantine. I think it was very like transformative time for a lot of folks. And yeah, for any other people out there who may think it's a bad thing to be in your head, I think there's a lot more people who are chilling with it. So it's not always a bad thing. Next question for you, LJ, is what would you like to ask the next guest on 34 Questions?
Oh. It's a hard one. Because I want it to be like very interesting topic for someone in any field.
If there's also like I also like to answer this last question. So, if there's anything that you feel like can be that you want to ask me, but it works for everyone, feel free to.
Okay. So, let's see.
Take your time.
I think what I would ask is if anybody that comes on here or you yourself, people, if you have, I got it. It's on the tip of my tongue.
You got it. Yeah, take it. You'll find the words.
If you're in rock bottom what could you do to put yourself in a position to uplift yourself?
Okay, I got you. I'm just writing it down.
If you want to reword it, that's cool too, because it might not make too much sense.
No worries. No, I get it. I wrote down, if you were at rock bottom, how could you uplift yourself? Something like that. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, for sure. Man, it's the thing about this question is like, how do you know, right? Like, how I'm thinking to myself, how do I know I'm at rock bottom or not? And have I been there before? Because I know there were certain times where I did feel that way, and it never. If someone else were to look at it, they would probably like, nah, man, that's not rock bottom. Rock bottom is like way worse. So a quick story about that is like in college, I felt like I was doing too many drugs. And I was like, oh, I need to go to like check myself into rehab or something or get help. I go to the hospital. I tell them what I'm trying to do. They're like, oh, go to the support group. Go to the support group. And holy shit, everyone there had way crazier stories and problems. And I'm damn, like this isn't a drug problem. Like this is just me not taking school seriously or whatever. But yeah, so that made me realize like, no, that's not rock bottom. Even though that's the time in my mind that I think about when someone asks me this question. But there was also this other time where I didn't have a job and I didn't feel comfortable telling my parents. So every morning I'd leave, tell them it's a morning job, like at 5 a.m., park at a parking structure and just like go to sleep for a few hours until I wake up and try to like play that game. I did that for like a couple weeks. Did not feel great. So yeah, that's rock bottom for me, but I know for a lot of people that's not a big deal. But anyways, how can you uplift yourself? I mean, in my mind, dog, like it's really about perspective, right? Those moments where I felt like was rock bottom, and then I realized that it wasn't. I think that kind of helped. I know I'm just like a cop-out answer, I'm trying to do my best to be as specific. I know for me, I always just try to tell myself like, it's crappy right now, but it's not going to be crappy forever. Or like, whatever struggle this is, I know it won't last forever, which it goes both ways, right? Like all the celebratory moments in our lives, they don't last forever either. So it all kind of balances out. But yeah, so for me, it's just when I'm feeling lost, when I'm feeling like, nothing's going right, or I feel like, there's no way out or there's no hope. I for sure think about the things I should be grateful for, like, oh, I don't have this, but this is what I have now. And kind of just reflecting like, not a lot of people have that. So I shouldn't be focused on what I don't have, or where I'm not at. And just like, yeah, there you go. Found the answer. You gotta be present. You gotta be present and look at life through the lens of like, what do you have versus what you don't have. So that would be my way, man, is to be present, change your perspective, and that will get you through it. I'm not gonna say it'll get you out of rock bottom, but it'll keep you going. But yeah, we'll see what the next guest has to say about it. Thank you for that. Sure. That one's deep, man. All right. And my last question for you, Eljae, the question that ties everything together, 100, 200, 300 years from now, your descendants are watching this video. What would you like to tell them?
I would like to tell them that I hope you guys have a very fruitious life, and that as a descendant of mine, I hope that I have somehow made an impact for you guys. I want you guys to know that I did all I could, and I hope all you guys do all you can.
Show, man. I got you. They hear you. And any last things you'd like to add before we head out of here?
I think I'm good, brother.
Show. No plugs? I guess, I don't know if you need it, But yeah, just be like, hey, if you're
I
in the
mean-
area, come check me out.
Well, I mean, you put it like that. I wasn't thinking that way. But you know, I work out in Livermore, California. If you're ever in the area, I work on Vasco. The barber shop is called Rich in Flesh. The tattoo shop next door is also called Rich in Flesh. So you can come get a tattoo, come get a cut. Every first Friday we have events. Slide through. And my Instagram is ABCDLJ, but my name is spelled ELJAE. So it's good.
Got you, man. And damn it, you just told me how to spell your name, and I fucked it up on the little top part of the
Did you?
podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Don't worry.
didn't
I'll find a way to fix it. But LJ, man, thank you for stopping by.
It's all good, brother.
Yeah, my bad for fucking up your name.
Oh no, it's all good. It's been a minute, so I get it.
I'm glad that we were able to connect. And like, yeah, man, thank you for telling me your side of the story, your perspective. And yeah, it's a trip, man. We haven't seen each other in a few years, but I'm glad we could reconnect. You know, Desi's the one that told me to reach out to you too. He was like, shout out to Desi.
Shout out Desi, yeah.
And to making the connection. But he's like, yeah, you should reach out. I think he'll appreciate the conversation. I'm like, ooh. But yeah, and I wish he had told me that we had met each other though before. Like,
he probably assumed you would remember.
Oh fuck. Yeah, he would too, man. You set me up, man. But yeah, no, thank you, LJ, for even still rocking with the Hella Hungry, dog.
Yes, sir, man.
You know, it's taking a step back, but it's not dead. I'll tell you that. So whatever you got, that's first edition, way back circa 2018. So it's dead stock. Remember that? You got all the dead stock stuff. What's it called?
But yeah, man. I appreciate you for having me, man.
No, absolutely.
It's tight. I definitely want to do it again, maybe if it arises.
Yes, I was gonna say, feel free to come back whenever you feel like it. Yeah, reach out to me. If not, I'll reach out to you. I usually like to space it a couple months in between, right? So like we see LJ in the summer, we see LJ in the fall, we see LJ in the winter, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be available, and if it fits your schedule, you're more than welcome to come back. Maybe with Desi, I'm trying to figure out how to do multiple people at one time. But yeah, we'll definitely get it. And also, if we do in person, I'm probably gonna try to get out there to Tracy to do an in-person one if Desi's down. I haven't talked to him about it. But yeah, I'm trying to move towards that too, so it's not just through Zoom or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you, LJ. I want to thank the folks out there as well. If you listen on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or watching on YouTube, appreciate your time as well. Remember to reach out, reach forward. As always, much love, and we'll catch you guys next time on 34 Questions. Peace.